Welcome to Mike Brown Barbecue. Today we're going to smoke full boat pork brisket on this 250-gallon offset smoker. Alright folks, it's time to get us a fire going for today's cook. What I got right here is a little bit of cheap charcoal to help get things going. Then I've taken my wood, split it up into smaller splits, burn the coal bed down since I used just a little bit of charcoal. And we'll just go on right on in here with it. When I got a piece of wood that's too long like this, and it sits like that, just turn it sideways a little bit so it'll sit on there. And I got a big piece of bark that fell off that log while I was cutting it. We'll just set that right up there on top. We'll give that a minute to catch up, but that is going to be the base for our coal bed for this cook. That's just a bunch of red oak split up into smaller pieces. It'll burn down rather quick. We'll go ahead and let that burn down. Next time you guys see me, when we put the meat on. Stay tuned. Alright folks, so what we got here is a pork brisket from Porter Road. I bought 2 of these last year, put this one in a deep freeze and totally forgot about it. It is still good. But the one thing that I realized about the pork brisket last year that I did was it was kind of dry and not quite as juicy as a beef brisket. So to combat that, what I've done is gone in with 2 quarts of water, 1/4 cup of sugar, and 1/4 cup of salt, and did a brine, wet brine on this, kind of keep this thing from drying out a little bit and see how big of a difference that makes. Hence the kind of like brining and pork chops like the Texas barbecue restaurants do. So we're going to take it out, pat it dry, and do a little trimming on this. Don't like it needs much. Another thing I noticed while doing this last year is parts of it were kind of gamey tasting, kind of like how a boar hog tastes. Any of y'all ever tasted that before? Long story short, it's kind of disappointing. That brine to help combat that also. So I'm gonna start right here on this corner. Kind of shape it up a little bit, not a whole lot, just a little bit. It don't have much of a fat cap on it. Get our little baby brisket shape going. I got a little flap right here that kind of really sucks. It's gonna have to come off. Pretty much we just lost our whole point. Big band of fat right here. Take that big band of fat out as much as we can without taking away from the final product. That's the bad thing about these little pork briskets is once you trim on them, sometimes you don't have much left. But it is what it is. That's about all the trimming that I'm going to do to that side. This will be the fat cap side. Not much trimming to do there. We'll call that good. We'll turn it back over here to the bottom, and we'll hit it with some 16 mesh black pepper. light coat. Just go ahead and hit the whole thing with black pepper. It's so deadgum small. Might as well just do it all at one time. And then we'll hit it with our usual suspect, which is seasonal salt. I'm not going to go real heavy with that because we did do a little bit of a brine on it. So we want to go on with just enough. Make sure we don't over salt it. And you can make your brine as salty as you want to. If your brine does turn out too salty, you can combat it with some more sugar and it'll offset the salt. Just FYI. I did taste this brine before I put it in there, so it shouldn't be over salted. Make sure you get all the sides. All right, folks. So that is trimmed up and ready to go. So next time you guys see this, when we put it on the pit, pork brisket round 2. Stay tuned. All right, folks, the time has come to put our pork brisket on. And that is what our little bitty petite baby brisket looks like. I'm going to stick it right here close to the door because I know it don't get as hot right here with the point facing toward the fire. And we'll let it go like that for about 2 hours, and then I'll check it for tenderness and probably flip it around to the flat for another 2 hours. I'm going to smoke this probably about 250 and take it real easy. 250, 275, take it easy. And I've decided I'm not going to wrap this in butcher paper. I'm going to full boat it this time. So probably around the 3.5, 3 hour mark, we'll put the full boat on it. But anyway, our coal bed's burnt down. Let's go throw our wood on. Stay tuned. Alright, folks. As you can see, the coal bed has burnt completely down. I'm going to go ahead and smash it a little bit, not much. We got a decent enough coal bed to get started. I'm going to move this up toward the front. I don't want to put no excessive heat on our meat. Those are both real delicate pieces of meat. Need to be brought up slowly. So I'm going to go on one piece of red oak right there. One piece of red oak right here. And I'm going to put one piece of red oak just like that. 3 pieces of wood is plenty enough for this fire. Like I said, I don't want to get too hot right off Jump Street. I want to burn just enough to keep in 250, 225 on our pork brisket. Bring it up real slow since it's a real small piece of meat. But that is taken off. I'm going to go ahead, close my door down to about a 1/2 inch open and let it do its thing. Stay tuned. All right, folks, so it's been about 1.5 hours. I'm pretty sure our logs are burnt down. The temp dropped from 250 to 225. So let's see what we got going here. And that's about right. Now we got us a good little coal bed here. Nice big coal bed at that. Clean the front of this out just a little bit. We'll go on with our next setup. I got one big red oak log that I'm gonna go on with right there. A heavier, denser log for some good smoke flavor. Go on right here. Yeah, well, that fire's hot. And then one more dense log that we're gonna go on right there. And I'm gonna keep rocking the 3-log setup until we full boat this, and then I'm gonna go 275. The whole deal behind this pork brisket is I want to bring it up slowly. I don't want to bring it up too fast. I think where I messed up on that pork brisket last time is I came up too quick and it just got tight and never loosened up. So I want to keep going about 250, 225 until I get ready to full boat it. And once I full boat it, I'm going to crank the heat up to 275 and finish it out. So that fire's taking off. I don't want it to get too wild. Close this down to about 1 inch and let it do its thing. We're 1.5 hours in this cook. Here in about 45, 30 minutes, we'll take the first look at our little pork brisket and see how it's doing. Y'all stay tuned. All right, folks, so we're at the 2.5 hour mark on our pork brisket. Let's see what we got. That's looking nice. Our bark is set. You can see our bark is set. We got nice color on that. I'm gonna go ahead and bring it over to the table. I'm gonna get the full boat done on it. It's about that time. Here's what our little petite baby pork brisket's looking like at the 2.5 hour mark. We're gonna go ahead and get it full boated, keep these edges from burning. When you're full boating, make sure you get kind of high up on them sides, protect it. And she's full boated up. We're gonna stick her back on the pit and let her ride for about another 2 hours. Judging by how tight this is, we still got a pretty good ways to go at the 2.5 hour mark. I didn't weigh this before I took it out of the package, but I'm pretty sure it was probably about 3.5, 4 pounds before trim. So we're gonna go ahead, we'll put it back on the pit and let it ride. At this point, I'll crank that heat up to about 275, 300. Let it do its thing. We'll manage that fire here in a little bit when we get back. We'll go put this back on the pit. Stay tuned. Alright guys, so we're officially at about the 3 hour mark on this cook. It's time to manage this fire. We dropped off our temp a little bit. As you can see, everything's gone. Mash this down into our new coal bed. We'll go on with our next setup. I'm gonna go back to my traditional 4 pieces of wood and get this heat cranked up a little bit more. Finish this cookout. At this point, our pork brisket is done tuck in pretty much all the smoke it's gonna take in. It's time now to just burn us a good clean fire and finish it out. We'll be checking that pork brisket here at the 4 hour mark, so here in about 30 minutes, we'll see where we're at on it. In my guesstimation, I'm thinking this is going to be about a 6 hour cook because we started out so low. Took our time with it, but now we're going to speed things up. So I'm going to get that closed down. It's taking off. Next time you guys see me will be when we check on our pork brisket. Stay tuned. Alright folks, so we're at the 4.5 hour mark. It's time to check this pork brisket. If it's not done, I'm going to have to manage the fire again. So let's see what we got. And that's what that's looking like. I'm not going to tip it too much. I don't want to lose all my tallow out of there. Just feeling around on the outside. It's still tight. Flip it around like I do my typical briskets. Let me get a feel for underneath. So the flat is still tight. The little point on it is feeling real good. So what I'm going to do is move it over here to the hottest part of my pit, and I'm going to let that ride for about another hour, see where we get at. We're 4.5 hours in. That's about where I thought this brisket would be at. This little tiny brisket. But just get you a little look at this dude right here. See that little guy? Isn't he cute? Make sure that full boat's tight. Like I said, the point feels good. The flat still got a little bit of giving left in it. So we're gonna let it ride out for another hour. Let's go manage this fire. Stay tuned. Alright folks, 4.5 hours in, we gotta manage fire again. We got almost 2 hours of burn time out of this setup. Time to crunch it down in the coals. And we're gonna go on with 3 pieces of wood. Throw that bark right there in the middle. One right there. One over here. One on there sideways, just like that. And that'll carry us about 275, 300 for the rest of the cook, because the coal bed is so big now. We don't really need that many splits of wood on there. And I only need about another hour. That'll probably last about an hour and a half. So that's taking off. I'm gonna go ahead and throw these last couple pieces of bark I got on there. And we're gonna go ahead and shut this down to about 1 inch. Damn it. And let it do its thing. We'll come back, we'll check our pork brisket in an hour. It should be done. Stay tuned. Alright, folks. So we're exactly at the 6-hour mark, and I've got a feeling this little dude's done. Let's check him out. Wind has kind of made everything a little strewed the last couple hours, but let's see what we got. Oh yeah, that's tender. Soft and pliable. That dude's got to be done. Give you a little close up of that. See what that's looking like right there. It looks real nice. Got good dark bark. Should have that crispy bark. But just for shits and giggles, we'll go ahead and we'll probe the internal temp on that thickest part of the flat, so I can give you guys an idea of what tenderness actually looks like. That's what it took to get this this pork brisket tender. So now that we got it cooked to tenderness, it feels real nice. So I'm gonna take this off and let it rest in my oven. Next time you guys see this will be in about 3 or 4 hours. I'm gonna let it rest in my oven and cut it this evening for dinner. Stay tuned. Here's the finished product on our pork brisket. Look how good that looks. Doesn't that look amazing, guys? That is going to be delicious. Let's go ahead and start cutting. Alright, just general observation. Everything still feels soft and broke down. We'll go ahead and we'll take us some slices. I can tell you that bark is crispy, even with pouring the tallow over the top. We'll come right in here for the money shot first. Oh yeah. And that is our money shot. See how juicy that is right there? That is juicy. The flat side, it's got some juice too. We'll go ahead and take us some slices. Where I really like to judge how I did is off this very end piece right here. You can cut that very end piece off right there and have juice in it, you know you did good. And it is juicy. Take some slices from the flat right here. And look at those baby brisket flat slices off this little pork brisket. Ain't they cute? Nice and juicy. Looks real good. We'll go ahead, turn it sideways. Take some slices off at this point. Ooh, that's crispy. We got through it. And one thing that I'm noticing is that actually looks like a brisket point right there. So that tells me that I did that right. Nice and rendered. It's looking good. Come off this side right here and get some little pork burn ends. Look at that little bitty burn end right there. Ain't it cute? Nice and juicy. Only one thing left to do now, folks. Let's try it out. Alright, folks. So, moment of truth. First piece that I want to try is that end piece right there. That end piece will tell you how good you really did on this. Unless you're going to cut it in half. Because my wife likes this piece too. So here we go. Right here. Texas burn end. It's pretty good. That's way better than the last pork brisket I did. Bark's crispy. The flat's got plenty of moisture in it. All in all, that's a win. So now we got our little brisket flat piece right here, full of moisture, looking real nice. It does bend a little bit, but not much. Holds up over its own weight and comes right apart real easy. Let's give it a shot. Damn. That's awesome. That's very good. Man. That crunchy bark, man. That's good shit. That's good. That's good stuff. Now we got our little pork brisket point. Let's see how we did on that. I'm going to bite it off this barky end right here. Okay. Well, that's not too bad. I think I like the flat better. The point is just slightly overcooked to my liking. It holds up to its own weight. Pulls right apart real easy. All in all, that's pretty good. The last thing I want to try is our little burn in off the point right here. Well, tell you what, I'm still not the biggest fan, all honesty right here. I'll tell you the truth. I'm still not the biggest fan of pork brisket. I won't go out of my way to smoke another one of these or special order them. If I happen to see it in the grocery store one day, I might pick one up here and there, but I won't go out of my way to do it. It's very good, but I'd rather eat pork steak or pork butt, and it's cheaper than that. But all in all, you get the red smoke, got the crunchy bark and the full boat, the fat's rendered nicely, got plenty of moisture content. I prefer the flat over the point, but y'all be the judge. Y'all tell me how I did. I think I did pretty good on it. That's way better than that first one I smoked. But like I said, I'd rather do another cut of pork than that right there. It's good, but there's better cuts out there. But if y'all like this video, please like and subscribe. Until next time, peace out. Thanks for watching.